Alrighty, looks like we're getting live on Instagram. Looks like we're getting live on YouTube, and we are recording the podcast, episode 109. Double checking things. Yep, we're up on YouTube. Hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. You better. It's what I pay you for, Instagram. Don't actually pay you, but what are we going to do? Alright, recording. We are live. Alrighty, let's do this thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I get something in my eye, is episode 109 of Dave's Dugout. It is a beautiful Friday, at least outside my windows here in Grand Junction, Colorado. It looks beautiful, like always. Getting into the 80s now. Those 90 days hopefully are over. We're getting down in the 60s and 50s at night. I couldn't be more impressed with the weather. That's a story for another day, though. Wow, I can't believe I got something in my eye right when we started. That was absurd. Maybe it's just in my head. We'll just power through, people. It's what live television's all about. Live podcasting here, episode 109. And if you are tuning in to YouTube, I much appreciate it. If you're on Instagram, also appreciate it, but you can't see as much in the background. Background's over there. If you see a couple new decorations here in my background, we finally have a locker room official Baylor men's basketball 2021 national champions t-shirt and hat in the background. I could not be more dissatisfied with, I forgot the company name already, Fanatics. Their customer service, not great. And if you guys listened to my first episode back after taking a little break from podcasting, some of it was because I was waiting for that stuff to come in, and it never did. Technically, I ordered 2 of those hats and 2 of those shirts, and those are still just lost in the mail somewhere. Maybe somebody else is enjoying them. Hopefully, they're not just sitting in a mailroom somewhere. But that's probably where they are. And so wanted to start with that note because we finally got those. I mean, that was it took a while, to say the least. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm going off the Happy Friday vibes, rocking a little thank you. Got a comment about the Pelican shirt here I'm wearing. Cause wanna know why? Who says you can't wear white after Labor Day? I do what I want. It's Dave's Dugout, my podcast, my live stream. Tell me what I can wear. Wear white after Labor Day. It's not fall yet, technically, people. I see Halloween decorations up all over the place. Don't get me started on the putting Halloween decorations up before Thanksgiving thing. That kind of bugs me. Also, along with the Christmas decorations before Black Friday. But whatever. That's a whole nother day. And we just don't have the time here. Timestamp on the podcast. Friday, September 17th, 12 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm only 9 minutes late getting on the air. I wanted to get on at 12. So, I think that's everything I wanted to start with. No! College basketball season, 53 days away. That's noteworthy. And, I think that's what I wanted to start with, is that Fanatics is terrible. Baylor basketball is great. Oh, they got their rings. That was also kind of why I put it up here. Baylor basketball finally got their championship rings, and they were at the first football home game out on the field. Was it before the game or halftime, whatever they do that. So, we just got to full circle things around. We got to make people remember the defending champs. And if this gets like a little absurd, I'm sorry. I'm trying to push a narrative here. The big media outlets get to do it. Why can't I? If they want to talk about Duke every day, why can't I talk about Baylor basketball every day? Oh, get ready for that, man. The Coach K farewell tour, they are going to shove that down your throat. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. Probably one of, if not the best college basketball coach of all time. But if they get to shove Duke down your throats, I'm at least, while we're the defending champs, going to have a t-shirt in the background. And I feel like that's reasonable. Am I going too far? Sick 'em Bears. And don't get me started on college football. we got a whole lineup coming for you on that regard. So to run down the show here for you quickly, In order, we're going to go baseball standings for those people that want to know if your team is out of the playoffs or not. We're not going to dive into it a lot, but we are going to just let you know if your team has a chance, they're knocked out, or if they are clinched already. Premier Lacrosse League, we got big news coming from a, what do you even call him? To be Hall of Famer. Anyway, we'll get there. And week 3 of college football, week 4 preview, week 1 of NFL, and a week 2 preview. And that's it. And then we'll get out of your hair. So, without further ado, let's go to some baseball standings, why don't we? This is all percentages are going to be off ESPN's standings page. We're not going to get into anything too crazy when it comes to this. We're just gonna update you because it's September 17th. October baseball's right around the corner, so we are gonna have to start paying attention to these things, people. All right, number 1, we got the American League East, and we have one team clinched, 100% chance to make the playoffs. That's the Tampa Bay Rays. That should not be shocking, as they are 91-56 and 8 games ahead of anyone else in their division. Pretty dang good. Those teams that are behind, 3 teams with over a 50% chance to make the playoffs. We got the Toronto Blue Jays, 68%. The Boston Red Sox, 75% chance to make the playoffs. And the New York Yankees, 51% chance to make the playoffs. 8.5, 8.5, and 9 games back behind those Tampa Bay Rays. See, we're just going to do that for each division. Is that too much? All right. Focus up, people. Next is the Central. We got one team clinched, Chicago White Sox, 83-63. Everyone else in their division, 0% chance to make the playoffs. Next, we got the West. We got the Houston Asterisks. They have a 99.5% chance to make the playoffs. Have not quite clinched, and maybe that's why there's an asterisk by their name. Other 2 teams with a chance, the Oakland Athletics, 4.5% chance. Sorry, I'm laughing at I can't even say the Houston Asterisks without saying asterisks. It's so weird. Oh, man, I guess I'm bumping the table. And then Seattle Mariners are hanging on by just a thread. This might be the lowest percent. 0.9% chance to make the playoffs. So, you're saying there's a chance. I am, Mariners fans. Angels in that division, noteworthy. They do not have a chance. 0%. It looks like Ohtani done pitching for the season. And Mike Trout also not coming back after injury. Those are both reported, according to sources. I don't know if those are official. Pretty sure according to sources. The Ohtani one might be. Mike Trout's definitely not coming back. Ohtani, I think it's just likely he's not going to pitch. I don't know if that's official, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. Then we'll head over to the National League. Got the Atlanta Braves leading their division, 76-68. They have an 84% chance to make the playoffs. Philadelphia Phillies, 21% chance. And the New York Mets still have a chance, 1.8%. Any Mets fans out there? Chatty, I saw you join for a second at least. 1.8% chance for the Mets. No, he's not a Mets fan. No, never mind. I take that back. Somebody in our group chat's a Mets fan. I know Kevin and Aaron. Is that it? Sorry, Chad. Alfonso Soriano. I'll never forget that. Back to the AIM days. All right. Enough shout-outs for you. To the Central. It's flip-flopped, actually. This is good news for me. Milwaukee Brewers clinched. 100% chance to make the playoffs. St. Louis Cardinals now in second. 12.5 games back behind the Brewers. My goodness. Brewers' record was 89-57. The Cardinals have a 36% chance to make the playoffs. And the Reds, Cincinnati Reds, have a... Sorry, I lost it. Got distracted by a notification over there. 24% chance to make the playoffs for the Reds. Cubbies are out. Sorry. And then... well, these are the only 2 where it says clinched playoff berth. So have I been wrong this whole time? It says they're... Okay, so maybe all those teams just have a 100% chance to make it, but they haven't clinched yet? What's the difference there? So, fact-checking myself here. Technically, here are the only 2 teams, according to ESPN's website, that have clinched a playoff berth. Both with a 100% chance, so I don't see what the difference is. Why wouldn't they? Okay. Anyway, so sorry, people, if I'm giving you misinformation here. That's wow. Comes with the turf, I guess. um. Oh man, I lost my website now. All right, San Francisco Giants 95-52, 100% chance, and the Los Angeles Dodgers, 2 teams in the West, 94-53, 100% chance. Then we got the Padres, 31% chance. Someone riddle me, maybe Hoff, Chad, baseball fan that's watching, how the Brewers, the White Sox, and the Rays have a 100% chance of making the playoffs, but don't have the little Z with the clinched playoff berth next to their name. Anyway, that's the baseball update for you. We'll wait a little longer for some more news on that. So over to from baseball to lacrosse, because for some reason that's a rivalry. Doesn't make any sense. Are they even in the same season? Yeah, I guess they are. Spring. Yeah. All right, that's why. In high school, they're not the same season. I guess they're the same summer. Now that there's a professional league for lacrosse. Anyway, I like both sports. I think it's allowed. I like every sport, though. I'll watch cricket. Speaking of cricket, you see a little dog that grabbed the... What's it called? A cricket ball? Is it called a cricket ball? The ball for cricket? Anyway, dog got on the field in a cricket game in whatever country. I don't even know what country it was. It's cute. Funny video. Alright, moving on. Wow. I gotta focus. A little coffee? Will that help? I feel like that'll hurt. I'm digging the shirt. Is this a new podcast thing? Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. See how it goes. So, over to some Premier Lacrosse news here. We have both good and bad. Championship game set. I kind of talked about that last week because we had a week off. In the week off, co-founder Paul Rabel and was current Cannons Lacrosse Club player retired from the sport of lacrosse. He played, what did he say, 15 years, 18 years professionally with the MLL, the NLL, International, and now the Premier Lacrosse League. So I think undoubtedly a Hall of Famer, one of the greats of the sport, probably the biggest name the sport's ever had. You might not even know his name. If I asked you to name a lacrosse player, I would have to bet Paul Rabel would be the only name you would be able to come up with if you're not a lacrosse fan. So huge news for him. I mean, retiring. The one thing I want to say from being there in person, so I went to 2 different weekends this year for the Premier Lacrosse. So I went to Colorado Springs and Salt Lake, and in Salt Lake it was actually weird. I actually had a little bit of a feeling there after the game, after the Cannons play. They lost. There was a weird... He hung out on the sidelines for a long time. I'm not going to say an awkward amount of time, but more than normal. He took a picture with Lyle Thompson. I'm just assuming what was his girlfriend. I can't confirm that. Just really long hugs with a lot of different people. Just the way he was looking around, very just slow, looked like he was soaking things in. But I hadn't heard any rumors, and I obviously hadn't heard of him making any announcements. So I didn't know. So I said maybe it's just a loss. I don't know. You know, chalk it up to multiple things. But I did have a little bit of a feeling, and now here we come. Hindsight's always 2020. He did make this announcement this week in between episodes. I don't remember what day it was. And yeah, I don't know. So the main takeaway here is that I've always thought he is a maniac in a good way. I mean, his work ethic must be insane to be training with the best athletes in the world and competing in the Premier Lacrosse League while co-founding the league. Oh, he also does a podcast in the off season. He'll release like 10 episodes of a podcast, um, which actually helped me not bother me when I took my break. It kind of bugged me that I wasn't doing it every week, but knowing he was doing his just on the off season kind of helped. But what he did for lacrosse is now not even talking about his stats on the field because I don't have those pulled up. But I mean, it's remarkable. And he went to Johns Hopkins, was incredible in college, professionally incredible. Um, but now creating the Premier Lacrosse League is, I think, by far the biggest thing he's done for the sport, and it's gonna be too. In his retirement speech, he also announced he's doing a thing. I believe it was called Goals for Greatness. Wants to make lacrosse fields and goals accessible in all 50 states. And he said, you grow up and you're driving down the street and I'm paraphrasing, but you see basketball courts, you see soccer fields, you see baseball diamonds. You don't see lacrosse fields. You might see lacrosse goals on a soccer field or a football field, but you don't see lacrosse fields. And he said even, as a pro, he's struggled to find lacrosse goals to practice on, so he wants to make that more accessible. That just goes along with, I think, everything he's doing with the Premier Lacrosse League, getting the name out there, getting the sport out there. I think it's nothing but up from here. I've said that from the get-go, the day they announced the league, the PLL. I mean, I've said this on the podcast multiple times. Going to and is doing what the UFC did to MMA. So I think the retirement, I mean, obviously he seems sad and he says he's going to miss the game. But I think him focusing on the league is going to, what they've already done is incredible. I mean, I think they've done everything right, from the logos to the uniforms to buying out the other leagues to getting a deal with NBC, now on Peacock. I mean, everything they've done so far has been impressive. And now to see that he's going to be full-time invested in this, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wish I could invest in the PLL like it was a stock. I would have done it day one, and I'd do it again today. Because it's, talk about going to the moon, man. Yeah. It's going there. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be the next NFL or even NBA or NHL, but I think it could get close to NHL. If I'm going hot takey, I think it could surpass it. I think it could and will surpass MLS, UFC type. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I never even watched the MLL or the NLL. I mean, rarely. College lacrosse, the international I started watching the last couple championships. It's like gold medal game. So for me to even be considering that this could even be 5th or 6th behind the NHL and UFC, and if that's where it slots in, that's huge. I mean, it's we got like a F-35 flying over my house right now or something. If you can hear that on the podcast. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a very interesting place to be in right now, and we got the Whip Snakes and Chaos in a championship game coming up here on NBC this Sunday. I don't have the time pulled up. I thought it was Saturday, but I'm pretty sure it's Sunday on NBC though. I know it's NBC. I should have that pulled up. I'm sorry, that's my bad. But yeah, championship game coming up, and yeah, huge news for lacrosse fans everywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break. This ad sponsored to you by Dave Acker. Because we couldn't fill any ad time with real ads. It's Speaking of ads, Tom Brady. You don't even eat bread, man. What are you doing? What are you doing on Subway commercials? They're funny, but it's absurd. Okay. Sorry. I had to take a little segue there. I had to take a break. Because that wasn't like a depressing topic, but I don't know. Somebody retiring isn't like be funny, joking around news either. So we gotta get back into the comedy bit here. Cappy, thanks for joining. What's going on? So we're gonna dive into some college football next year, peeps. A little week 3 recap and week 4 preview here coming your way. So first up. Horns down, baby. Horns down. I'm sorry. I got to do this every week. This isn't supposed to be a bet. I actually really don't even hate Texas. But horns down, man. I mean, I was a week early on my free $100 bet for Texas to lose. I did it against Louisiana. Should have waited a week and done it against Arkansas. What was I thinking? Oh, maybe Louisiana was ranked? Was Arkansas even ranked? I don't think so. I can't believe it. So Arkansas, credit to Arkansas media team, Twitter team specifically. Hilarious videos of everybody yelling Texas is back and them just saying no. Welcome to the SEC. Wow. Who saw that coming? Probably a lot of people. Apparently not delusional Texas fans, though. Like I said, really nothing against Texas because they don't win a lot. So, it's not like a threat. It's like little brother, but like they are supposed to be big brother. Anyway, I'm just being mean at this point. This just proves my point enough that I don't think anything's going to change. Next game I want to talk about, too, proves this point. It's different, but the same. A&M was losing the entire game to Colorado. Colorado's in the Pac-12, used to be a Big 12 team. Colorado is not a powerhouse when it comes to football or basketball or anything. Texas A&M, even if they're in the Big 12, should not be losing to Colorado. A&M went to the SEC to recruit better, to play better talent, all these reasons Texas wants to leave. Did A&M get any better? Aggies, what's their thing? Little thumbs down? Do I do a thumbs down? A&M I actually dislike. Texas I don't dislike. I didn't go to Texas's campus and dislike it. A&M, you walk around Aggies fans and they just bug me. I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be mean. Aggie fans are the worst. That's come at me, please. Aggie, is there an Aggie Barstool account that can come on, bring it on. Let's see. Go ask Illinois fans how that worked out for them. Clowns. Yeah, A&M fans, they're the same. They're like Texas. They don't win. I want to say they're like Yankee fans, but it's a fake. Yankee fans are actually from New York, so they're actually have that New York excuse my French, get the fuck out of my way. I'm better than you. But that's just an East Coast thing. It's just how you are. A&M fans, it's we're better than you because we do a little thumb up, but we're not actually better than you. We don't actually act like that. But we think we are. Aggie fans are weird, man. Did they ever win a national championship? I actually don't know. I should fact check myself. They haven't recently. They haven't been good at anything recently. So I don't know why they think they're so good at everything. What are they good at? Are they good at anything? I know Baylor's good at acro tumbling and equestrian basketball, college basketball. Where you at, Aggies? What are you guys good at? Texas is good at volleyball and Texas is good at stuff. What is A&M good at? Anyway, I'm just trolling hard right now on Texas schools. I guess I shouldn't, but whatever. My point being, though, to come back full circle, is moving to the SEC isn't going to make you recruit any better. Maybe a little bit, tiny bit. But here's my thought process on Texas. Not so much with A&M. A&M doesn't even have this going. Where Texas actually is going to be better than A&M. Maybe. They haven't recently. I don't know if they are. I don't know. I wouldn't watch that game. So if one of the reasons moving to SEC is recruiting better and getting recruits from all over the country, Texas already does that. better than anyone. Texas already has some of the best recruiting classes every year. Texas, you're not going to recruit better than Alabama. You're not going to recruit better than Clemson. Maybe you already do recruit better or the same as Ohio State. I don't even know who's next. The Auburns and the Oregons. It's like Texas. You're up there. Like you're what top 4 like team like. Who are you now? Who are you gonna get now that you wouldn't have got already? Like you guys already could get whoever you wanted. Besides, if the person wanted to go to Alabama, Clemson, Georgia. I mean, those are the teams you're gonna be behind still. I mean, moving to the SEC, you're not gonna get people over Alabama now. You're not gonna get people over Georgia or Auburn if they want to go to Georgia or Auburn. Are you gonna get people over Arkansas? Are you gonna get people over Ole Miss? Are you gonna get people over Florida? Probably. You already were. You already could. So I really don't see any upside here. Besides more L's coming your way and schools like Arkansas trolling the shit out of you when you lose. I guess that was already happening with Kansas. So we move on to live another day. Wow. I didn't expect to go that hard on that topic. Sorry. I hate Texas fans. Sorry, not sorry. Moving on. Oregon over Ohio State. Speaking of upsets, also, have not fact-checked this, but shouts to our weather guy Zach at work, said this is the most upsets through 2 weeks, 3 weeks, since, what was that year? 2007 was the one where that was crazy? Or was it 14? I think it was 7. So we're on pace to have a ton of top 25 upsets, and I got a couple of them listed here for you. Oregon being one of them over Ohio State. We had a nice 9-10 game, the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes. The other Cyclones would win for once, man. It doesn't seem like some of these rivalry games are funny. It's like they never win. So why is it a rivalry? Hawkeyes win again. I really thought it was the Cyclones' year. Glad I didn't bet on that. USC lost and is looking for a head coach. USC is another one. Like, 11 national championships? And just haven't been great recently, and they're kind of like a Texas. Like, they think they're top 3, but really, are you? You're like top 5, top 10, top 20? Like, USC, yeah, you could probably get any coach you wanted except for over those schools I just listed before. Top 10? I don't think it's top 3 like people are freaking out about. I don't think it's worth leaving the Jacksonville Jaguars to go coach USC. I don't see the hype. I was actually listening to sports radio the other day. I'm actually going to pull this up and stall a little as I do this because I want to shout out properly this guy from CBS Sports Radio. He had a good point on this whole USC thing. Ryan Hickey. I just happened to turn on sports radio, and he was filling in for the Zach Gelb show on CBS Sports Radio. So I want to give him a shout out. He made a good point here that I liked. That was USC hasn't done anything in the last 15 years when it comes to like being on a national championship caliber national headline. And the kids you're recruiting are 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. So they don't remember when USC was really good. Like, they weren't alive, let alone do they remember. So the kids you're recruiting, USC doesn't have that. Like, when you listen to sports radio, usually it's a 40, 50-year-old guy who played football or has been in love with sports his whole life and has watched USC win multiple national championships and be one of the best schools ever. These 16-year-olds that you're recruiting to try to go to USC don't even know what you're talking about. If it's not on TikTok, man, they don't know what you're talking about. If it's not a funny dance, they don't care that you have 11 national championships. They want to know what you did since they've been alive. And that really made me start thinking about, like, schools like that have been struggling recently. How much, and it brings up a really good, like, I would love to have Ryan Hickey and the Zach Gelb show and somebody with more of a national following put up like a poll or just a debate topic, because I think this is really interesting. Like, how much should that be the mark? It's like 15 or 18 years, 20 years. Your success in the last 15 years, I think, really, really matters. Especially when it comes to recruiting. And then, therefore, your current and recent success. Yeah, I mean, you have to... Kids, I mean... For some reason, the school popped in my mind is Oregon. Recent success, cool uniforms. Why do you think they're good? Why do you think they continue to be good in both football and basketball? Because the 15-year-olds you're recruiting know what Oregon is. They see the cool uniforms. They see the cool logos. It's like bringing it back full circle to why I think the PLL is going to be successful. The young kids see the cool uniforms. They see the cool TikToks. They see the videos going viral on Twitter. Why do you think the Olympics struggles? Because they don't let you put their video online. Stupidest thing in the world. Publicity is publicity, Olympic Committee. Let your video NBC. Let the video be spread around. The NBA is really good at it. Dunks go viral. Trae Young goes viral when he drains a three-quarter court shot. Steph Curry goes viral when he hits 16 threes in a game. Is it really that hard? Are people that stupid? The people up at the top, man, the executives. Oh, boy. Let me in, man. Let me in the building. I've been in the building. Let me in a chair that matters. Oh, boy. All right. Whew, we're on one today. Shout out BYU. The Cougars. Welcome to the Big 12. Get the big win over Utah, Pac-12 team. So they were ranked too. That's what you do when you're in the Big 12. You beat ranked Pac-12 teams. BYU. Let's go. That's what I like to see. That's who we're bringing into the Big 12. Teams who beat top 25 teams, Texas and A&M. Not teams who get upset by top 25 teams. Okay? Even though A&M ended up winning the game against Colorado. But and shout out, Baylor covered a 44-point spread. I didn't see that coming. I thought they'd win, but that's a lot. That's like Alabama type spread. I've never seen a 44-point spread covered before, unless you're talking about like I don't know. That's rare. All right, week 4 preview. We got 3 ranked versus ranked matchups. The one I'm surprised, I actually don't know where College Game Day is going. I'm assuming it's the second game we're going to talk about. But number 1, Alabama versus number 11, Florida, is the highest ranked versus ranked matchup. Even when Alabama plays the 11th ranked team in the country, so I mean, call it a top 10 matchup, they're favored by 2 touchdowns. We just need like Alabama versus an all-star team. We just need to make an all-star team at this point and see if we can beat them. 14.5 points against the 11th ranked team in the country. I don't know what to do. That's crazy. And I'm like, they could cover. Easy. That's not like, doesn't sound like too much. That's bonkers. Alabama's so good. It's crazy. Shout out to Nick Saban. My gosh. Next one, I think, is where College Game Day is going. I mean, it's a primetime game on ABC, so just assuming here. Number 10, Penn State versus number 22, Auburn, at Penn State, at the Nittany Lions. I'm sorry, I had to. Whiteout. I've been to a whiteout. It's nuts. Not gonna lie. It's pretty crazy. I haven't been to a lot of SEC games yet. Believe me, it's on my bucket list. I want to go to Death Valley. I want to go to Alabama. Even though, anyway, the whiteouts are crazy. The whiteouts are crazy. It makes you feel like you're in the South and you're in the Big 12, in the SEC. It makes you feel like you're in the South, but you're in Pennsylvania. You're in the Northeast. It's nuts. Believe me, the whiteout is crazy. There's an Auburn team that similarly to Baylor covered. I would assume it was a 40-ish point spread, 62-0 last week. Spread's -5 Penn State. I'd say that, so we're calling this an even matchup because I'd say the whiteout's worth 5 points. I'd say the whiteout's worth a touchdown. You're going to get a touchdown because of the environment from the whiteout. You have a 7-point advantage. So we're saying Auburn's the favorites in this game then? The 22 versus 10? I'm taking Penn State -5. By the way, I was taking Alabama -14 too on that last one. We'll see what Auburn can do. I don't know. Auburn's played like 2 cupcake games their first week, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Baylor did the same thing, so that just happens. Sometimes with scheduling. But so I literally know not like I don't think anybody knows anything about Auburn right now. And then guess who's playing a Pac-12 school again? Ranked number 19 again. I think the other one was 19 too. Arizona State 19 versus 22 BYU. BYU's ranked now. Big 12, baby. Arizona State -4 on the road in Utah. Is it Provo, right? Provo. Super weird. I actually stopped and took a picture of the BYU stadium just because like the mountains in the background were cool. And then like a week later they got like inducted. I don't know what the right word is. Invited to the Big 12. Super weird. I just like had a feeling. Like, what the hell? That's so weird. I never even posted it, but because it really didn't come out that cool at the parking lot. But you need like a drone. Then it would look really cool. Or like a really big ladder. Really big ladder would have been nice. Like a big ladder. Like you'd have to like a drone would probably be easier. Well, at least I make myself laugh. And that's got to count for something, right? All right, so that's college football. We got NFL, and we'll get out of here. 43 minutes in, give or take. Nah, we're only 30 minutes in then, right? I didn't start right at 12. 37 minutes. All right. So another break. Commercial break. So yeah. Let's see. First thing I want to talk about with the NFL is just kind of like a funny thing. Was the Manning brothers alternate broadcast, megacast they're calling it. It was on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Instead of watching Monday Night Football on ESPN, I also think it was on ABC. But instead of watching it on ESPN, you could have turned on ESPN2 or streamed ESPN Plus and watched just Peyton and Eli Manning in like a room, in a studio. Well, it didn't have a studio feel, though. It had like couches and stuff. Just talking. Just like in 2 boxes on the side of the screen while the game was going on in like 3/4, if not more, of your screen. And just like, I'm stealing somebody's tweet. Blanking. Ashley Brewer, ESPN, SportsCenter anchor. She says it's just bros being dudes or dudes being dudes, dudes being bros being dudes. One of those, something like that. And it was just like brothers being brothers, just talking shit, making fun of each other. Peyton tried to put on a helmet, didn't fit him. He's like, Eli was like, really? Helmet didn't fit that big ass forehead of yours? And so stuff like that was funny. Fire alarm went off. Peyton's like, Eli, what'd you do? They all start looking around. Ray Lewis couldn't believe it. Ray Lewis was like, he's like, there's a fire alarm going off while we're watching the game? And he just, hand over his face, starts dying laughing. He's just like, what did I get myself into with these knuckleheads? It's really Peyton. Peyton's the knucklehead. Eli just kind of, like, looks around. Sorry, that was mean. It was kind of true. But it was funny, man. Then Russell Wilson was on. Peyton's just like, what was it? Sierra wore a Super Bowl ring. The Super Bowl ring when the Seahawks beat Peyton and the Broncos in the Super Bowl. And he's like, wow, look, she's wearing the ring that I wanted. So he just does like funny shit like that. It was good. It was a good time. Honestly, I like prefer it over the regular broadcast. I'm not gonna lie. It's so they're scheduled or contracted. I don't know what the word is, to do 10 of those for Monday Night Football, a season for the next 3 seasons. So it's not every week, but pretty close. It's like every other week, really, which is weird. But there's a rumor going around that fans are trying to get them to do a similar thing for the Tennessee-Auburn game. I believe they play each other. I know Peyton went to Tennessee. I've not fact-checked if Eli went to Auburn. But again, our weather guy was my source. Auburn fan? He's really just a college football Alabama fan. The state in general. But that'd be cool. That'd be fun. And I can't imagine they wouldn't be even more hyped for that. I don't know. I thought it was a good time. People that are hating on it, I think, are crazy. Similarly, some sports radio show, I don't know if it was CBS or ESPN, was hating on it, saying the ratings were bad. It's like, yeah, it was week 1. Did anyone even know what was going on? I found it on accident. I think I found it because of Twitter. Somebody tweeted haha, look at Peyton being funny. So I turned it on for that, and I thought it was a good time. Oh, Matt's commenting, Ole Miss for Archie and Eli. Oh, both of them. There we go. Heard it here first. Or last. So that's my first thing I want to talk about week 1. So here we go. Week 1 recap. Where I was right. Wow. Where I was wrong. Where I was right. Where I was wrong. Golly. Where I was right and where I was wrong. That's a new segment on Dave's Dugout. Talking hard, man. Talking for this long. I don't think people realize. I love doing this podcast, man. Just vamp, baby. Just go. No commercial breaks. Where I was right, where I was wrong. Week 1 of the NFL. Pat myself on the back of a couple things, and I admit when I'm wrong. I'm up $75 on Vegas after week 1. That's what the pat on the back's for. That doesn't happen often. Vegas usually wins. Vegas is undefeated. I think over time, Vegas always wins. But specifically week 1, mostly because of the Rams, mostly because of my crazy Rams fandom, is where I won. Where I won most of them. I got stopped. Where I won most of the money. I guess 1 is supposed to sound like that. Anyway. So where I was right. The Rams are really good. Okay? Not a shocker. Stafford, now only behind Patrick Mahomes in the MVP odds, according to Vegas. If I had more money, I would have put that on the... those bets for me, they just take too long to, make money. It's before the season starts, you're really going to bet on who the MVP is. Even though the odds are long shots, it's it takes so long to make your return. You could just bet on a game that's on today and win the money in a day or lose the money in a day. That is just such a long... Whew. Although that's how I came out on top the year I bet on the Rams to make the playoffs, the year they hired Sean McVay. It's one of the reasons I'm in the green on Vegas. That was thanks to a free bet too. So, yeah. Where I was wrong, David Montgomery. You could say I reached for him in the second round. It was give or take. Yeah, I reached a little bit, but not really. And he's around that turn, second and third round, I think. And I sat him, which is crazy. You shouldn't sit your second round fantasy pick. It's week 1. But I won anyway in both my leagues, so we're good. I won. Last year I started 0-8, so it took me 8 weeks less to get my first win of the season than it did last year. We're off to a good start. We're 2-0, baby, after week 1. Even despite sitting my second round running back, David Montgomery, looked really good against the Rams. So I'm actually really happy with him as my pick so far after week 1. If we're going to overreact to week 1 outcomes, if he did that to the Rams, I think he's going to be fine all year. I actually think despite losing by 75, the Bears looked good. Sorry, they didn't lose by 75. But I think the Bears looked good. Yeah, I don't know. The running game. The thing that I was trying to get at with my hot takes was the Deshaun Jackson only being rostered in 3% of leagues. Pick him up for a long shot. I think he's going to burn somebody early in the game for a 70-yard touchdown. And I was on the right idea. I just had the wrong person. It ended up being Van Jefferson who burned him deep and early in the game for like a 50, 60, 70-yard touchdown. So I was spot on the cornerbacks being a weakness in the Bears' defense. Somebody should hire me to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Kidding. But so I was kind of right there. And it's crazy because Van Jefferson is rostered in less leagues than even Deshaun Jackson was 3%. Van Jefferson was only rostered in 1.8% of fantasy leagues. And I drafted him in my second to last pick, I think. So I should have just went with my gut and just went with Van Jefferson anyway. I got bamboozled by the Rams social media team oversharing Deshaun Jackson touchdowns during training camp. So my hotter take with Van Jefferson that's what I should have just went with, and I wouldn't even have to drop whoever I dropped. Sammy Watkins. I dropped Sammy Watkins, who got a touchdown, and now the guy I'm playing this week, shouts to Matt Hazzy, you son of a gun, picked up Sammy Watkins, my last draft pick. Not like we're going to start Sammy Watkins, but I don't know, we might. Ravens are kind of banged up. They looked kind of good. We'll get to that game in a sec here. Also, where I was right and where I was wrong, that's hard to say. That's not going to be a segment name. Now I see why they don't do that anymore on whatever show I got that from. Where I was right? It's Colin Cowherd, right? Where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. Where I was right. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Must be nice to have a team. Help you with your show. The Steelers over the Bills. Called that. That was an upset. I feel like I had a reason for it. It was mostly just the successful franchises over the last forever. I don't know. I was right. That's all I need. Rookie quarterback struggling in Jacksonville. The Texans look pretty good. Called that. Spot on. Said it. 2-3 interceptions. What did he get? 3? Did he get 4? I know 3 for sure. The Browns kept it pretty close. I said that. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. They keep it close, take the points. Chiefs are going to win, though. That's exactly what happened. Dolphins over the Pats. Called that. Just saying, man. It's like, you can either listen to me or you can fade me. Either way, you're probably going to make money. And I think the most shocking outcome, let me know what you think, what the most shocking outcome of week 1 was. I think it was the Saints. Saints over the Packers. Rodgers, man, just with this new hipster look, doesn't look great. I don't know, man. He just looks like he doesn't care. I mean, he wasn't. That's why I hate the sitting out of training camp shit. Like, I get, like, we want to give players the power, make more money. This is what happens. You come out and lay a freaking goose egg week 1. Like, you suck. Go to practice. You're not God. Maybe you won the MVP last year, but you got to practice. Everybody's got to practice. Like, I used to like Rodgers and the Packers. It just kind of pissed me off a little. I'm like, he's really got to prove. See, that's messed up. He's got to prove himself. What does Aaron Rodgers to prove to me? He's fantastic. But that's annoying. Am I the only one that, like, right? I mean, I have I can be mad at that, right? That's annoying. That's annoying. All the money you're making, go to practice and win football games. That sucked, man. They looked like shit. That was bad. That was bad. And the Saints, credit to the Saints. I'm making it about the Packers. It's really about the Saints. I mean, I did not think they'd pick, like, with losing Drew Brees, I thought, oof, we have to, like, wait and see. Jameis Winston looks better than he's ever looked. Did he go 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions? Am I right on that? That's off the top of my head. Like, he's usually the opposite. He's usually 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. Jameis looked great. Is that credit to the Saints coaching staff? Might be. Sean Payton there. That might be. Who dat? Saints fans, let me know. That was very impressive. If I was a Saints fan, that's not what I was expecting, and I would be looking very optimistically towards the future, and I wasn't a week ago. That was. I mean, I knew they had a good team. They got one of the best running backs, if not like the best running back in the league. They've been good. They've been really good the last couple of years, but part of me, you would think, is Hall of Famer Drew Brees doing that. But they looked good still. They looked really good. Very impressive. Very impressive stuff from the Saints. This is week 1 still. I don't know. I didn't get any comments negatively or positively on the betting stuff last week, but I figured I'd save it to the end of the show. So if you want to listen to my hot takes, I mean, like I just said, I think I was right more than I was wrong with some of these for week 1. And after watching NFL Red Zone all day Sunday, let's hope I learned something and we can get even better week 2 here. Let's check it out. I've got our week 2 odds pulled up here, courtesy DraftKings. It's just the first one I pulled up. There we go. Sunday slate. Let's pick them. Against the spread, some of them I'm going to opt out on and just pick the winner of the game. Because the spreads get too close sometimes, man. Like I'm telling you, Vegas is too good at this. It's not fair. So, again, Friday, timestamp on the pod. These are these live odds. Not live. These are the odds right now on DraftKings. And my times are Mountain Time. 11 a.m. kickoffs here to start. Denver Broncos, Jacksonville Jaguars. Broncos -6. That's a lot. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be good. They're going to be closer to bad. I mean, what was their over-under? 4 or 5 games this year? I think that's where they're looking again. And I think the Broncos looked good. The Broncos looked pretty good. Broncos might be a sleepy team this year that nobody was kind of expecting. They were Teddy. Teddy looked good. Defense is really good. Wide receiver injuries there. I tried to pick one up on waivers. One of Broncos' best wide receivers went out. So if your league is light on waivers, go pick up a Broncos wide receiver. Broncos -6. Rams Colts. Rams -4. That went up when I looked earlier when I was getting ready for the podcast. That was 3.5. Hammer it. That was my Kyle Smith impression. Hammer it. The first one was better. Hammer Rams -4. That's disrespectful against the Rams. The Colts? They're good. Might be a playoff team. Might be. But the Rams shouldn't be less than -6.5. They should be touchdown favorites against everyone in the NFL except for the Chiefs, the Bucks, and like anyone in their division, probably. Those would be my handicaps. Those games should be 3.5 point spreads. Maybe even underdogs against the Chiefs and the Bucks if you want. Yeah, I'll be realistic. But 4 against the Colts, hammer that. We're back to the Rams 2 years ago, I think, when Super Bowl run. Those first couple weeks, it took them a while to catch up to Sean McVay's offense, and I was cashing in against the spread. They were like 8-1 first 9 weeks of the season. They were also like, what did they start that year? Didn't they start like 8-0? Anyway, they're. I'm telling you, that Rams offense can be clicking. -4 is not enough. Here's one: Texans Browns. Texans +13. These odds have changed in the last 2 hours since I looked at these. Texans 13. Texans +13. I think the Texans looked pretty good. So did the Browns. The Browns hung in there with the Chiefs. But that's like rivalry. Like extra hyped for the game. I don't know how hyped the Browns are going to be for the Texans. I don't know if the Texans are going to win. But 13's a lot. And I'm pretty sure this was 14.5 2 hours ago. To not lose by 2 touchdowns, I'll take the Texans. They looked pretty good last week. Again, it was against Jacksonville. And the Browns looked good against Kansas City, so that might be saying more. So maybe they're on something. Maybe Vegas is on something. My first reaction, though, was take that for the Texans. Now that I'm overthinking it, I'm saying don't. So you do you. Another early kickoff, Bills-Dolphins. Bills -3.5. Hot take here for no reason. I'm going Dolphins +3.5. I don't know if the Dolphins are going to win, but boy, oh boy, the frenzy that would ensue if the Bills started 0-2 after the successful season last year would just be kind of funny, so I'm rooting for it. I'm sorry, I usually root for the Bills, but in this just specific scenario here, I'm not going to. Saints-Panthers, Saints -3, I think really isn't enough after how good they looked. Panthers didn't look bad either, +3. But I might take the Saints there, because they might be sleeping on the Saints. Like they're sleeping on the Rams. I don't know. I love it. But Saints -3 I might take. Raiders-Steelers. Raiders look pretty good. Steelers look pretty good too, though. -6 is a lot. I don't love that one. I don't love that one at all. 6.5's a lot for two teams that like looked kind of good. Don't love that. Don't love that. I'm not touching that. Can we pass on that one? Oh boy. I might take 7. 7's a lot. 7 with the Raiders, but I think the Steelers might win. We gotta do something. Patriots, Jets, we're not touching. Patriots -6. Don't bet on the Jets. Don't give either of these fan bases your time. Don't bet on that game. 49ers, Eagles. I forget his name. I should give him a proper shout out. But somebody on ESPN said they will shave their eyebrow if the Eagles win this game. This is someone who's on TV for a living. Yeah, we got to rock 49ers -3. If you're an Eagles fan, hammer that so you can see somebody shave their eyebrow off. But I think he's right. I don't think the Eagles are winning that game. The NFC West looked really good. If the NFC West lost to any NFC East team this year, I'd be fairly surprised. The NFC West looked really good, and the NFC East looks really bad. Bengals, Bears. Bears 2-point favorites, 2.5-point favorites. The Bears looked good against the Rams. Like I said, despite losing by a lot, I think the Bears looked good. I'll take the Bears on that. Vikings, Cardinals. Vikings +4. Vikings, I like. They're like a weird up and down team to me. Lose a lot of games, look good. I can't. They're too roller coastery for me. And the Cardinals looked pretty good, so I might have to take Cardinals -4, even though that's a little more than I'm comfortable. A lot of these I'd do a teaser on. These ones where I'm flip-flopping, I'd do like a 7-point teaser. You'd get Cardinals +3 instead of -4. That I'd be into. That's what I like doing. I like taking teams I think are going to win and their favorites, make them underdogs when it comes to the odds. And there you go. Secrets to success to people, the teasers. Don't... Never mind. I was going to say the $1 parlays I do are just for fun. Like, I should go back, listen to this podcast, do all these, and make a crazy $1 parlay each week to win like a couple thousand. That'd be fun. Which I kind of do anyway. Falcons, Bucks. That's a lot. 12.5-point favorites for the Buccaneers. My goodness. Do I think the Bucks are going to win? Yeah. Do I think 12.5 is too much? Yeah. So I guess Falcons plus 12.5. Jeez Louise. I don't know, though. Was that a late game? Oh, these have all been late games. So Vikings, Cardinals, late game. Not late. Afternoon game. Falcons, Bucks, afternoon game. Another afternoon game. Chargers. San Diego Chargers. If you can't see me, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm winking. And the Dallas Cowgirls. Wouldn't watch this game. Cowgirls plus 3. Chargers minus 3. I'll take the Chargers. Straight up. Who cares? I'm not watching that, man. There's better games on. Those other 2 games I just listed are better. This one might be better. Titans, Seahawks. Titans have to rebound a little. They looked bad. Was it them looking bad or was it just the Cardinals looking good? I don't know. That's to be determined. Titans plus 6.5. Though Seahawks, again, the NFC West just looked really good. I hate betting on the Seahawks, but I might have to. Titans, though, plus 7. That's kind of a lot. I might take that. That's a flip-floppy. These spreads, man, they're too good. It's not just straight. Like, it should just be bet on what team you think's gonna win. But the odds, man, they don't help you. And then Sunday Night Football, we got Chiefs-Ravens. Ravens coming off that crazy Monday Night Football game. And the Chiefs, minus 3. I don't know. It's not a lot. Isn't there some weird stat that the Ravens have never beaten the Chiefs? Or is that just in the Mahomes era? Either way, I think we should all bet Chiefs until the Ravens prove us wrong, huh? That's kind of where I'm leaning. And then Monday Night Football is Lions-Packers. Don't trust the Lions, and the Packers looked like garbage. Did this light a fire under Rodgers? I don't know. Does Rodgers just not care anymore? I don't know. Is he going to lose the hipster look? I don't know. Minus 12 is a lot, though. So if it lit a fire under Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to try now to prove that he's like MVP caliber worthy again, they're going to blow the Lions out. And I'm taking them minus 12. But if Rodgers just doesn't care this year, because he's still unhappy with the team and the front office, the Lions might not lose by 12. So that's to be determined on the Packers, and we'll blame the Packers and Rodgers. I feel like that's fair. That's science right there, okay? That's how you print money. Scientific data here on Dave's Dugout. And then last thing I wanted to mention here, I hate ending on a sad note. I didn't want to start with this either, though. But Norm Mcdonald passed away recently after a 10-year secret battle with cancer. And if you ask a lot of comedians, anyone who's worked for Saturday Night Live, it seems like anyone who met him in person says he is even funnier and more of a commanding presence than you got over the air, which is crazy because, excuse my French, but he did not give a fuck. And that is what he was known for. He just didn't care, man. He would shit on anybody, anytime. He'd make fun of you. He didn't care who you were. The President of the United States, a big name on he did not care. OJ, I mean, he made a career off making fun of OJ. Obviously, I'm too young for that, but I mean, I watched the highlight of just him just shitting on OJ during the trials. He was ruthless. It was hilarious. And his just dead spin humor. I mean, he just known for these really long-winded jokes. Which just end in a corny dad line almost. He's hilarious. Please, if you don't know, go watch some YouTube videos of Norm Macdonald. He is absolutely one of the funniest people, I was going to say, of our generation. That doesn't work, though. Of if not ever, and of the last however many years. So it's a shame he passed away. And this one really hits me, too, because I was too young. Obviously, I didn't grow up with him on Saturday Night Live like a lot of people did. But he did come in to my... I don't know what the word is. Not I found out about him, but I really started... he got on my radar, is what I'm trying to say. I believe it was 2011. 2010. So if it was 2011, it was like I was like 11th grade of high school. When I was really getting serious about like sports anchoring being what I wanted to do, I was working for the high school news show, anchoring that. Senior year, I did that, the morning show. And Norm Macdonald's a big part of that because at that time, he was doing a show on Comedy Central called Norm Macdonald's Sports Show. And it was like a satire, funny, almost how I started the first ever Dave's Dugout. I would do those little pictures, in the corner there. And, he would just talk about different headlines or just make fun of, like, sports news in a funny way. And I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And I think I recorded, that was like when DVR first came out. I think I would record it and watch it. My God, it was funny. It was so funny. I watched like the first 10 minutes of episode 1 on YouTube the day I realized he passed away. And my God, it was fun. It was so funny to hear too, like the jokes of what was going on. I mean, that was 10 years ago now, almost. It was 10 years, like, right? Yeah, it's 2021, 2011. How is my 10-year? Anyway, wow. And you just, oh man, it's a shame cancer had to get him too, man. So, well, end on that note. Bless up, everybody. Life's short. Hope you laughed, learned something, enjoyed this episode 109 of Dave's Dugout. I love all of you. Peace and love. Spread the good news. That sounded knock on door. That was weird. I take that one back. I'm not knocking on your door with the Bible, I promise. Oh boy. Oh, all right, episode 109, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends. Thank you for tuning in live if you did. If you're on the podcast, appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Ended on a good note there. Oh, boy. All right, live streamers. Love you all. It's, my goodness. All right, everybody. Cool. We'll see you next time. Like I said, share it with your friends. Share the link here. And we'll get this thing posted. See you later, YouTube. See you later, Instagram. Bang. Bang.